Let's talk about hip hop. It's been a minute, man. It's been very entertaining so far. 2024, 2023 was a little bit underwhelming as far as releases, but 2024 so far has been dope. We've had some great projects from the likes of Schoolboy Q. Big Sean is back too, and now Kendrick Lamar out of nowhere on that Future and Metro collab album, We Don't Trust You, surprise feature on track number 6, like that, and he had a lot to get off his chest. He took some shots at Cole and Drake. And man, like I'm so hyped for this. Like it feels like it's 2014, 2013, that era again when Drake, Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, Big Crit, and all of those guys, Wale, all them guys, they wanted to come up, right? And it felt like it was some competitive spirits out there, especially when Kendrick sparked the fire with that control verse. And since then, the big three, people like to bring up that big three all the time. We gonna get into that, right? But they all took off, and it felt like they left all the others behind, and the competitive spirit overall has kind of died down. And whom other than Kendrick to bring that back? I'm so hyped for this, man. So on that verse, he had a lot to say. Let's look at some of the standout slides. So he had the obviously motherfuck the big three niggas just beat me. So that's gonna stand out. He has the DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. I feel like this is kind of a shot at Drake because a lot of people say that Drake has all the money, super powerful, being the biggest name in hip hop, but respect wise, being the if you look at the way he's been moving, sometimes some of the cloud chasing moves that he's pulled, the respect has been questionable for some people. Obviously, he has more fans than haters out there, but yeah, some people question his respect, right? Uh, then he had the okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. I don't know if he's talking about just J. Cole or Drake about this one. In my opinion, he's both talking about Drake because a lot of people has been bigging it up and a lot over a lot of stuff. Drake been talking about he's number one hit away from Mike, all that stuff. So I feel like it's kind of a challenge to Drake directly. Then he had that niggas clicking up but cannot be legit. The 40 water tell him. So this one is a little bit deeper, and you have to really know your hip hop to catch that one when he was like, pretty much. Be Legit and E40 used to have this rap group called The Click. So Kendrick saying that Drake and Cole are trying to click up, but they'll still never be legit like Be Legit, don't 40 water. So, which is obviously E40's name, a nickname. So the meaning is that both of them, Drake and J. Cole, they can have all those songs, go on tour together, drop tapes together. They still not be a legit threat to myself. This is what he meant by that. So I really like that line. And then he was like, Fox Nick dissing first person shooter. I hope they came out with 3 switches. So this ties back to that line that I just told you about, the clicking up. So great line by K Dot. I hope most people caught that one. Then it was like I crash out like fuck rap this Melly Mel if I had to. So this is a mention to both, first of all, Melly Mel being one of the rare guys who was brave enough to step up to Eminem. And then about obviously Eminem coming out on top of that beef because Melly Mel didn't really perform well. Then he got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. It's up. If you walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. So this is the line that's strictly aimed for J. Cole. Because J. Cole, first off, he has that track with J.I.D. and Kenny Mason. And who else was on there? Sheck West called Stick. So we have that. And J. Cole, since last year, has been kind of walking around. He's been seen in a few videos with the stick. So I think this is definitely a shot at J. Cole only. Then he said, motherfuck the big three, nigga, it's just Big B. Because J. Cole is the one that kind of lumps them in as, yeah, we were big three, like we all on the same level. And this is Kendrick saying, nah, I'm better than both y'all. Stop lumping me in with y'all. He ain't really saying that they're trash because I know Kendrick has respect for J. Cole. He's mentioned his respect for J. Cole a few times, and J. Cole did the same, right? But he definitely feels like he's better. And I like this. He's really making that separation to be like, yeah, like y'all stop acting like we all on the same level. Now, if out there y'all agree or not, that's different. But that's the competitive spirit that's been missing, right? And then right back on Drake's neck when he was like, your best work is a life pack. Nigga, Prince outlived Mike Jack because obviously Drake on first person shooter was doing like I'm 1 hit away from Mike. Nigga, beat it. And he was just, he was also imitating in the verse like the what that Drake kind of does all the time. So another great line. Then he was like, niggas bum for all your dogs getting buried. That's a cape with all these lines. You gonna see Pet Cemetery. So obviously you get that for all your dogs is Drake's album. And I like the fact that he said for all your dogs getting buried. I feel like this is kind of a shot at 40. I'm not sure about that one. I may be reaching, but Push mentioned that Drake's producer 40 was dying pretty much. So for all your dogs getting buried, the fact that he chose your dogs rather than for all the dogs, which is actually the name of the Drake's project, that it's getting buried, that it's a shot at 40. I took it this way. I may be reaching, and then you get the one that's the K with all these nights. You're going to see Pet Cemetery. So, man, I'm very hyped. I felt like that verse was pretty short, but he really packed a lot of stuff in there. So now, why did he diss both of them? Drake one is pretty obvious because Drake is the king of subliminals, and since the Control verse, Drake has been throwing subs for a while now. And Kendrick, he kind of hinted at it on the hard part 4, like pretty much, bro, stop tiptoeing around my name. At him and Big Sean, right, throwing subs and all that. Stop tiptoeing around my name. If you're not gonna say the Candy Man, leave me alone. And Drake, for a while, he kind of chilled back. He kind of redirected some of his anger or pettiness towards Kanye and Pusha T, but he definitely threw more subs since then. So this is Kendrick saying like, yeah, stop that. I'm ready for war right now, so step up to the plate. So Drake is pretty obvious. Will Drake respond? I think he will. I think this one is too direct for him to ignore. And if he doesn't, that would be kind of lame, because if he doesn't, Drake will still respond, but he'll wait to drop an album and then he'll just have more subs or whatever. This is what I don't want. I want Drake to step up to the challenge, and whether he wins or lose, I don't care. But I respect Drake if he steps up, just like he does with all them other rappers. Within 3 to 4 days max, you have a dancer, and then we're ready to rumble, right? I hope he does that. What also I hope doesn't happen is a joint answer with both J. Cole and Drake on the same song. Nah, because then it kind of gets buried, and it's like a group effort against Kendrick. And that kind of makes Kendrick's point more valid about y'all clicking up, because pretty much y'all scared of me. Both of y'all put out an answer. This is what I want. Now, the J. Cole aspect of this is more interesting, because I really didn't see that one coming. Because it's always been love and respect between Kendrick and J. Cole, at least in public. Now, behind the scenes, maybe some stuff happens or whatever, but yeah. J. Cole now on his feature run, and he's been going crazy. Let me give J. Cole his props for the feature run since, I want to say, 2019. He's been hinting at being the best a few times. I remember some lines on Johnny P's Caddy with Benny the Butcher, or a few freestyles saying RIP to the competition or whatever. But I don't think that this is enough to make Kendrick really go at J. Cole like that. Plus the big three thing. I know a lot of people like to bring up this narrative, and maybe Kendrick was like fed up of it and he's like, I'm better than both y'all. Maybe that's all. But it kind of felt odd that he would go at J. Cole. Now I'm very interested, because Kendrick for me is the best out of the three. Especially when you look at both all of those guys' discographies. I feel like Kendrick has more classics. His album have more replay values as far as albums. Now, when it comes to singles, obviously Drake is the guy. But for me, Kendrick gets a lot more replay value, just because I really like the depth that he has in all of these albums. He has more messaging. I know some people are not happy with his output, but for me, I'll take quality over quantity. Then my number 2 would be J. Cole, because J. Cole, he's not really wowing me with like subject matter or whatever, but when it comes to just bars, I feel like he's been the most consistent out of the three. Now, when it comes to actually classics, body of works, I don't feel like he's dropped a classic since 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and I would argue that's his only classics with Friday Night Lights, which one is arguable also, but still, he's solid. And Drake, I used to be a fan until 2015, and since then he hasn't really put out any albums that I liked. I like a song here and there, but yeah, as far as really making solid body of work on a hip-hop level, I don't like what he's been doing since 2015. It feels like he's just chasing numbers and money. I respect it, because obviously it's working. First of all, it's making history, but yeah, for me as a consumer, as a listener, I don't really like it. But J. Cole, although again for me is number 2, he's definitely improved a lot. So in a rap beef, when it comes to just trading bars, I feel like he would definitely be a great opponent. Now, people like to forget that in 2016, Kendrick and J. Cole did the Black Friday collaboration and both rap over each other's beat. Kendrick picked A Tale of Two Cities and J. Cole picked All Right. And Kendrick did better than J. Cole in that scenario. But again, that was 2016. So in a rap battle, I have Kendrick beating Drake. Kendrick is not really battled like that, but I trust Kendrick's pen over Drake's pen every day. I feel like Kendrick will have more depth into his bars. He'll be more creative. Drake will make a hit song out of the diss, so that may sway people's opinion. But Kendrick. Now, Kendrick versus J. Cole is way more interesting. So I hope J. Cole really embraces this, especially since he's in album mode. I hope he embraces it. I hope he doesn't do subs. I hope he doesn't do an interview saying, like, pretty much, I'm confused. Embrace this and bring the competition back. And for the others, I could see a guy like Big Sean trying to step into that conversation. Bro, leave that one alone. Don't do that. And if I'm Big Sean, I'm hating Kendrick because, he kind of rolled out. He's coming out. He's coming back party or whatever. Put out a single just for Kendrick to outshine him again. So I would be tired of that shit. But anyways, these are my thoughts about this whole thing. I'm definitely hyped for hip hop. I feel like hip hop fans were all winning because competition has been missing. So shout out to Kendrick, shout out to Drake, shout out to Drake Cole, and I cannot wait to see what's about to come for this situation. So if you made it this far, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. But more importantly, get in that comment section and give me your thoughts. Did you like the verse? Did you agree with kind of my lyric breakdown? Did you catch something that I missed? Let's talk about it. And in the rap beef, who you like? Kendrick, Drake, or Cole? It's been your boy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.